Hi, Lynsey here from Philly & Co Horse Gifts to give you a quick guide on how to put up your wall decals. Firstly, they will arrive in these triangular boxes. It's best not to try and take your decal out from the end. Instead, these neat little boxes allow you to completely unfold it and reveal your decal so you don't damage it trying to get it out from the end. Once your decal arrives, some of the pictures will come with all your items laid out. You will need to cut out the different sections of your design. We will send you a picture of your design to remind you what you've purchased. And it's a bit like a puzzle when you lay it out on the wall. It will come in different parts to put together. You can see here how we've started to cut out the different areas. So now how to get going with the application. Things that you will need. A little squeegee. If you don't have something like this, then your Medicare card or a credit card can also be a great tool to use. A pair of scissors if you need to lay out your design, and a pair of tweezers comes in really handy as well. The best way we find for doing these decals, especially because we're not dealing with really large ones, is to actually remove the backing before you go to place them on the wall. So first of all, get your squeegee and just lightly press over again, just working out any air bubbles which may have formed on the way over as much as you can. Now it's not like a plaster, you don't literally just whip it off. You do need to take a little bit of time and a little bit of care to do this. Flip over your design, grab a corner, and slowly, you can see how here we're keeping it nice and low to the print. And then when you get, it will start to peel off. Now you'll see some areas won't always come straight off, so you might just want to give it an extra little push and then peel it back, and sometimes you just might need to give it a little movement with your finger to manage to persuade it just to gently come off. And then we just continue to peel back. Now at times the white backing here may just want to stay stuck. That's where a little bit of tweezers can come in really useful, just to give it a little nudge and then it will break free. So like I say, it's about just taking your time with the design. Now you have your wall decal all ready to apply. If you like, once you've got that done, you can just lightly pop that back on there just to stop it sticking to things whilst you're laying out your wall. But you are now all ready to apply this to the wall. So now it's time to apply your decal. It's best if you've given your wall a wash off and cleaned off any dust or dirt so you've got a nice clean surface to work with. The decals work best on smooth walls, not really rough walls, and walls without, say, Teflon paint in them. But that's normally walls that are very shiny. You can always check perhaps your paint tins you've got in your shed to make sure. But otherwise, they're a great decal that can apply to many walls. You can always just do a test in a corner if you wanted to make sure. We'd happily send out samples. You may have also wanted to put a few marks in just to give you a layout of where you wanted the actual decal to sit. So you have your decal all prepared, ready to apply, and now it's a case of just making sure you've got your squeegee with you again, or your credit card, whatever you might be using, and now you can start to apply on the wall. So first of all, we're going to line up. We can just gently stick it first, just to make sure we're coming in roughly where we want it to be. Just lightly apply it on to make sure you're happy and getting it nice and straight. Then the next thing to do, smooth it out, is using your squeegee there to nicely apply to the vinyl concentrating on the edges that are there, especially if you've got more, you know, fiddly detailed bits. You know, just making sure you're giving it a nice press over that you can work with. Again, it's not like a band-aid, we're going to be working gently with the decal to remove. So I tend to start on the top right corner and then we're going to move from left to right. If you've got a really long decal, you can actually stop halfway, cut off the application tape that's in excess, just so you're always working with a comfortable amount of the application tape. So just pulling down, again, you can see how we keep nice and tightly in. We're not pulling it out this way, just nice and tight. In we go, and just pull down, keeping the pressure the same across. If any bits look like they might just want to lift up, just gently pop it back down. Again, just give it a little helping hand if it needs, but it certainly comes off easier than it does on the application tape part. It's slightly easier, which is great. So now we just pull across, just keeping an eye up and down the design that you are picking up all the pieces that you need. So just nice and steady, give it a little extra push in if needed. Once you've removed the application tape, just use your swiper or your credit card and just work over the decal, getting rid of any little air pockets that have formed. Just doing it nice and gently. You don't want to scratch it too much, so just nicely going through. And with things like this, you might just like to use your finger just to press over, or just use your swiper just gently to push down the sides. Just want to make sure they've adhered to the wall. And just push through, give it a nice rub over. And then I often like the next day just to come, just check it again. You know, you just might need to give it one more push, and then your wall decal is all ready and applied. To remove the decal is very easy. Just lightly with your fingernail, get a corner and slowly just peel down, and the decal will just come off. If for any reason, you know, you may have had this on there for a number of years, you can use a hairdryer lightly on the side as well, just to peel back the decal and get it to come off.